everyone. Thank you for coming. Only the introduction is in English because mein Deutsch ist nicht sehr gut.
Because my German is not so good, I only speak a little German.
Very pleased to introduce my old friend Ingo Eichel from Adobe. I was just presenting downstairs and telling about all the years I worked at Adobe. And Ingo has been one of my best friends, starting with Adobe, but we're just very good friends. So I was speaking more about Adobe and the Experience Cloud and print automation. Ingo will talk more about creativity. This is really the heart and soul of Adobe, comes from its creative products. And there's always, yeah, those two dudes, yeah, rockers. So Ingo will talk about what Adobe is thinking about and what is coming with creativity. So over to you, Ingo. One last comment. When we're done, you should stay in the room. Horst will be speaking to close the ceremony. So stick around.
And Mike, I continue in English for a few sentences since one of the topics, of course, for my today's sessions is about AI and generative AI. And so I wondered, since this is really the best to summarize this event, the future of creativity, two old Adobe folks together with Print at the Print Day, but I wondered what happens if I try to prompt this. I wanted to get you made by the generative AI, like a rock star from the publishing business at a print event. And so this is what came out of this. Yeah, and of course, generative AI is one topic, also ein Thema, mit dem wir uns heute.
It's just one topic that we want to look at. It's about how can I create such things, or what is the content that is real and what isn't real. This went viral a short while ago. Horst won't have so much time for print. The white smoke is coming up out of a chimney in Duisburg. When I was here 1.5 years ago at the last print day, this was my opening slide. It was the number of days that I enjoyed my home office before I visited the first print day again. Almost twice the amount of time has passed by, but nevertheless, I've only been out 8 times, including today, professionally, out of my home office, So to me, many things have changed. So many things are still remote. I've always worked, teleworked, but many things have shifted. And this is also part of these trends. Who is traveling less than before the pandemic? Who's working in the home office? Yeah, the majority. Very good. So let's look at what this has done to our creativity.
Yeah. Come on. I'm classic, fantastic, abracadabra, I'm magic. And I'm sending out these good vibes and electric waves. Take a ride with me and we're walking on these golden rays. Ain't anything like you ever seen before. I'm everything and more. I got to show you what I'm all about. I got something I got to show you how. I got to show you what I'm all about. I got something for you. Just watch how I do it. Let me show you what I do. What I do. Just watch how I do it. Yeah, this is how I do it. How I do it. I got to show you. Let me show you what I do. What I do. Just watch how I do it. Yeah, this is how I do it. How I do it. Just watch me. Watch me how I do it. Just watch how I do it.
So we've seen some of the themes that we have dealt with, and these are 4 topics or 4 theses that I will try to walk you through. Design has become so much more important in the private environment. Many designers used to work for themselves on their own, and this trend has changed because collaboration is getting more and more important. Many people are working back home, and when you call, in the past you used to call across the desk, "Hey, have a look at what I've done," but then of course we've got immersive work. When I know 3D and immersive work, 3D and Photoshop, so there's so much more collaboration going on. And for the younger generation of designers, we can also see this. They start building a prototype. And the first question is, who can I collaborate with? And then they jointly attack the project. And this also works with software now pretty well. Another topic is creativity and design, and that they rank so much higher than just the department, the design department. I probably also do campaigns for my club. I have private design issues, or I have to respond to trends quickly in my profession. And this is, regardless of the position, why I need some possibilities to put my ideas into practice quickly. This is Adobe Express. You will probably remember this as being called Spark. It's a whole product group only available on the web, and you can see how you can use templates to produce a flyer or a poster for a surfing event. It's very easy. I can produce posters, flyers, and campaigns for Instagram, for instance, and I can schedule them right away. You can say that I would like to have this live on Facebook tomorrow and adapted in format for Instagram on Thursday. And I can use many templates. I can use stock photography and find it very easy to design. But what's also part and parcel, and this is what links us with what Mike said a minute ago, automation, automated processes. What we have here are quick campaigns. There's some quick tasks, and I don't know where to start. Now you can see what is available right now. Remove background. This was really a big issue. It required a specialist. It was manual work. Photoshop has developed further over years, but now it takes a click to remove the background. I can take any image, use drag and drop to remove the background. Change size. If I need an image for my print campaign for Instagram or Facebook, and even more so with the video. Here, I can only click on a video and say, redo it in this new format. And I can align the video so that the scene is really in the frame that's important to me. And then I simply download it in the new format. It's available for free in Adobe Express. And for Creative Cloud customers, it is also part of this desktop application. Quick jobs or quick tasks. It's surprising to see what is available, what is feasible these days. I mentioned collaboration as being very important. Here you can see two initiatives that we embed in many things like Illustrator or Photoshop. Here I can use cloud documents the way I know it from Google Docs. The document is primarily on the web, but I can actually work on it collaboratively. I can invite people to edit the same editor file. Share for review. This is used to be in InDesign, but we've now launched it for Photoshop and Illustrator. So when I work in design, then I can say release it and get this guy's or her feedback. So everyone who has this link can have a look at it. And the people who are supposed to give me feedback no longer need Photoshop or any other tool. Frame.io is a video platform. When I roll a video and I need a feedback from 5 people, how do I do this? I can simply upload it to Frame.io and you can comment on it. and not only say the video is too long, but you can enter the video and say, well, remove the coffee mug in this frame. So I can leave comments without having without needing a license. Another topic important for collaboration, when I do share for review, then my my opposite person doesn't need a desktop program nor a license. With Photoshop and Illustrator is now, or they're both available through platforms on iPads in the browser, and this opens up completely new opportunities. And of course, AI plays a major role. And before we look at generative AI, let's first look at what is already doable with artificial intelligence, or what has happened recently.
Sinners, traitors, turn to saviors all the time. Oh, that's fine. Mainstream makers are movers, shakers on the side. Oh, that's fine. I know you know what you wanted. We know it's time. You know, I know you want nothing is done on the other. Nothing is wrong on the other. Nothing is gone to the other side. And nothing is lost on the other. Nothing forgot on the other. Nothing is gone to the other side. Gone, gone, gone to the other side.
Who is familiar with neural filters in Photoshop? Yeah, many. Oh, that's good. And the new ones added. Here's an example to restore old photos by click. This has been done by many, many people before, but involving lots of effort. But now you can do it at the push of a button. Of course, you can further optimize it with Photoshop activities. And there are things developing further here. Two other examples. I mentioned it before, removing backgrounds. This has become a commodity in the meantime. But also select objects. This has become so easy. You can actually identify all objects when you actually hover across the image with your mouse, and then you can start manipulating. Or on the right-hand side, by Colin Smith, a former colleague of mine, in the pre-release functionality of Photoshop, you can remove elements from images far better than the old technology we introduced a number of years ago. Again, this is based on AI. One tip for those working with cloud, Creative Cloud, we have pre-release versions for many products that you can activate on your desktop, that you can install in parallel. And you can already see what's coming up. You can see the functions we're working on. And you can use this decision-making functionality. Let's look at videos. Again, lots of developments. Speech to text. This is a thing that we announced a year ago. And that has helped accessibility a lot. I can simply say, create a text from the video. This works ever so well in English. In other languages, it is, we're still improving. And then I automatically have a manuscript and can actually include captions for my videos. Just now, this weekend, we've announced a new functionality at the LAB. This is the big video trade show in the US. And based on this speech-to-text functionality, we want to introduce a completely new feature.
Ich kann
I can now cut videos as easily as I edit text files. I can look for text snippets, like the interview with Mike. I remember he said something about old friends. I'm just looking for the term old friends, find the text snippet, and then actually put the paragraph on my timeline. So you don't copy the text, but you copy the snippet from the video. And what I often do during my lectures is the following. In Premiere, I can later say, well, delete this. I never said this. So I cut it out. And again, it's available as a pre-release version and will soon go live. And we are convinced that this will be a functionality that revolutionizes video cutting, and it's going to be a disruptive change. And then, of course, print and Acrobat. There are companies that really cling to print products and making all of the documents available as PDFs. But if I want to read it on my smartphone, then this is what you get, and it's not really helpful. Who knows the liquid mode in Acrobat? Yes, some already. Great. Because at the push of a button, I can do right this. Acrobat actually analyzes my PDF file and represents it as an HTML view, regardless of how it was tagged before. Each PDF works the same way. And this is the easy way to actually see the content on my smartphone. But let's now make a step towards generative AI. Our response, our answer is Adobe Firefly. I talked to some who entered the beta version, and let's see what this is all about. Well, we've just seen part of what is already available live already, but also part of our visions that we have for Firefly. Firefly forms the basis for regenerative AI, for creating visuals, but also shape, vectors, etc. If you actually click on firefly.com, you can register for the use of the beta version. As there's a very strong interest, people are only admitted gradually. But when you're admitted, you can try out text to image and create an image with a prompt, or to create text effects. This is what I briefly showed with the print day image. These were LED letters that I used, and very soon We will have the new coloring of vectors presented as EPEAK, and this is already celebrated by the press. So I can take elements, add a new image, and please color it in this color combination. But is far more exciting is when you scroll down the page, then you can see the topics that we're working on. I think this is extremely exciting. Generating images is fantastic. You will find that it is not that easy. At times, when you enter a prompt, you end up with very funny things. There are people, the vacancies for people who can prompt in Germany, for instance. But it is so exciting to see what's available in addition. In painting, for instance, in Photoshop, you can simply delete elements, but maybe I want to add something. Then with in painting, you can do so. So I have an existing image, and I want to include a camera. Instead of the fridge, I want to have a table. And then I can mark this area, and then the image is adapted. Extend image or outpainting. You're all familiar with this. I do a design, have a great idea, I have the matching photo, but like in the print environment, I need it in a landscape format, but unfortunately I took the photo in a portrait format because I would have to cut off and to change the format. Outpainting. I simply mark the area, and then the image is extended. And here it's natural, but outpainting, why don't you add a sailing boat, a sailing yacht? And then my image is adjusted. A friend of mine, Terry White, Word Adventures for Adobe, actually shot a photograph in Colorado at the Grand Canyon. A fantastic photo, but the skies are horrible, misty, dark. He tried to actually enlarge the image to actually delete the skies. But what he did now was far more exciting. He used regenerative AI to generate a sky with the same viewing angle at the same time of year, and he got the same canyon with the skies, and he actually involved the sky. So the image is really very close to what he really shot that day. And this is of relevance. Important for me to mention is the following. With Firefly, we're trying to do many things differently and be different from what is available at present. Creators first. There's this discussion about who's the owner of the content you use for creating images. Who holds the rights when I use such a model? We ensured that the images that we use for training purposes are really not subject to any intellectual property, or they form part of our stock images. We're now in the beta phase, as I said before. But the idea is that once we leave the beta phase behind, we want to have a compensation model. So the testers who have actually contributed by stock photography will be compensated. We will allow them to use the no train tag, and they can actually say that they don't want their images, specific images, to be used. Then responsibility. How can a user see what is real and what isn't, and what was created by AI? Well, this is why we said that all images created by Firefly receive content credentials. What does this mean? This is also a point where Firefly really differs from other solutions because it's so easy to handle. On the right-hand side, as you can see, There's styles I can take over or color schemes that I can adopt. And so I can adapt my image easily. And if I say, well, I dislike one of these cats, we're now adding content credentials. Content credentials means that metadata is added showing how this image was made and which will be attached to this image and travel with it. So I've downloaded the image, opened it in Photoshop, in Inhaltsurhebernachweis. This is the credentials. And it says, I have created a new file with Photoshop in this version and includes an image that was created by Firefly, with Firefly. And these can also be checked with the tool Verify. And here again, I can see immediately which metadata were attached, how this image was created or generated, and how it was manipulated later. I've uploaded one image now, find positive matches, and I found this image on the web. And with some images, I would like to find the original without the credentials. At the top, at the bottom right, you see a different image that was more complex when built. And with the Verify tool, I can see that several images were included. These content credentials were actually started 5 years ago with our content authenticity initiative. We said back then we want to create a possibility to actually ensure the provenance of images, videos, and later other things. We actually announced this in the New York Times, but also via Twitter. We have over 1,000 partners who cooperate, so we're about making this a worldwide standard. And you can see very clearly which steps were taken by Photoshop, for instance, how these images were processed further. And I can actually display these images, and I find an eye icon or another shape that allows me to read the content credentials. This is already done on many media pages. And we're working with a major consortium to disseminate this even further. I have an image from a crisis region, for instance. This was published online, and all of a sudden a second version shows up, and the statement is different. One contains the content credentials. I still don't know whether it has been manipulated, but I can probably see this is a famous journalist working for the New York Times, and he took the photo then and then. And the other image was shot, well, who knows? And I can actually decide whom I trust more. And with Firefly, these credentials are added automatically. There are even camera manufacturers such as Leica that build it into their cameras. So when you take a photograph with a Leica camera, then you automatically have the content credential. This photo was taken by this camera then and then with this lens. And generative AI, we have both solutions in the beta version now, but again, there are many partner solutions available. I've just selected some examples in the center. This is the Flying Dog website. This is a Photoshop plugin. On the left-hand side, you can see Dadanoi as an XD tool for generative design patterns, and below what you see is plugins for Photoshop that help me or simplify the prompt to image. And there is a stability plugin. This is Stable Fusion, the company backing this up, and they've included a new upscaling because very often the images that were generated were very small, and we needed this possibility to scale them up. Again, so there's lots going on, not only with us, the providers of algorithms, but also with partner companies. I've selected 3 exciting things that are also related to ChatGPT. The left-hand side, I found this on LinkedIn a while ago. Easy import has been available for quite a while as a plugin. So I can import Word content to InDesign. But what we found is that when I copy web content and import them, then this content often does not match the InDesign elements. And we've now used ChatGPT to solve this problem. Please adapt the text so that it really fits my InDesign frame. And on the extreme right, you can see a company producing plugins for other effects. They've developed a tool that the most unreliable tool to write scripts in automated ChatGPT. Why? You probably heard it before. ChatGPT also comes up with ideas that are a little unrealistic. And in the center, a good friend of mine who develops plugins for Illustrator said, well, I have to play around with ChatGPT, and maybe ChatGPT can help me doing the Illustrator designs. And let's watch it. This is the Illustrator. And he opened the chat window.
Als ob das jetzt schneller geht für jemanden, der sich gut.
Yeah. I think this is very exciting as an exercise to see how can I use this for my programs. This is probably only for people who know their way around with Illustrator. To conclude, leave behind generative AI. Let's talk about another topic that is 3D and immersive. We can see a strong increase in the number of people and a strong increase in demand for 3D design because they create assets and render them accordingly and all of the metaverses. And this is all depending on 3D designs. During the pandemic, this has really picked up. We've seen many companies who actually changed over. They actually did lots of campaigns based on photo shootings and have now started rendering their products in 3D and combine these with the images. And as the next step is we combine them with images created by generative AI. Ben & Jerry's, for instance, they save 2/3 of the time. Or Salomon is using 3D for design now to produce shoes. And again, the time to market was shortened. They have many more versions available than before, and at the same time, they're saving a lot of money. And this is an example that was completely new. Many of you probably know the IKEA Place app. This is an Amazon example, who also starting doing this, where I have 3D objects, and I can use these for shopping, to embed them. So I can actually really place products in my rooms and to see what it looks like. IKEA actually did some advertising with the sofa. But this is also one of the effects that we see. And we received the feedback that shoppers who were given the opportunity to actually handle their shopping process through this AI, with this AI, were 11 times more likely to buy, and that they're 30% less likely to return. So the sofa that didn't fit the niche in your living room, but this is really the exception to the rule. Again, Adobe has a whole palette of products available. Substance 3D Painter, for instance. We created the Substance family after taking this over. And to come full circle with what Mike said before, and that is automation. And the requirements for assets are growing, and I don't have to tell you about this. We have the InDesign server as a solution here, but we're also starting to actually put or move many solutions to the cloud. So the InDesign server, there's an alternative up of the cloud now. We never had a Photoshop server. Now we have APIs. So various processes can simply be covered by cloud services. And the Creative Cloud automation services, you don't have to decide now whether you want InDesign or Photoshop. But if you start using this, you have access to all of the APIs and can use them accordingly. The best contact is sitting in the front row, Mike, who is very familiar with this. The InDesign Cloud Services, this is officially in the beta version, but we have the first guys working productively with them, and it will be rolled out this year. So take your time and look at it. And with this, I have actually touched upon many topics, introduced you to many partner solutions. This is my responsibility. I look after developers, Werk 2 and Print. Has been a partner for a long, long time with a very, very deep integration. I presented the plugins to you. There's so many plugins. There's so much periphery for Photoshop. If you miss a feature, I'm sure there's a plugin or a script available. And you will find them on the Creative Cloud Desktop Lab or at our Creative Cloud web shop. Well, that was it for my overview. These are 3 links for you to conclude. These are 3 relevant events. Max is our design event, which always takes place in October in LA. Summit is our conference for digital marketing. It took place recently in Las Vegas, and Print was also present. And in July will take place in London. And at the bottom, these are the events we offer to partners. The first 2 events are really exciting. The atmosphere is great, but I warmly recommend to actually watch the keynotes online, because you see so many trends for the next few years, so many inspirations. It's always well done, whether you use the solution or not. And with this, thank you very much. Enjoy the rest of the day and see you next year.
Wenn Sie Fragen haben,
Should you have any questions, feel free, but I'll be around as well.
Microphone.
No microphone, unfortunately, no interpretation possible. Well, I have the same assumption. Our aim is to actually monitorize these images yeah, there will be a price for that. And this is also the reason why we're still in the beta phase. Same question about prices, right? But I can only recommend to you test it, apply for the beta access to see what's feasible, play around with it. You can also make feature requests and provide a feedback. And you can ask about the prices. You won't get the answer faster, but you can actually help us to come up with a better answer. Well, we are planning to have Firefly as a separate service offered. We want to deeply integrate it in the cloud. We're trying to venture how deep we want to go, where we want to go, and it is also our target to offer APIs so that Firefly services can also be integrated. Well then, thank you very much, and see you next.